Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Josh Halter, owner and founder of The BioDude. You can visit my website, www.thebiodude.com. Check me out on Instagram. Of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And today, I have a beautiful, empty Tetra 75-gallon deluxe with a nice 8.5-inch substrate lip, as well as the front the sliding glass doors that that give you the ability to put in a lock. At the top, I have my nice 22-inch LED with my props and the adapter. I have the ZoomEd Sun terrarium hood fixture with a 10% UVB source in it. So this bulb includes the 5. It's included 3, but I will eventually be selling the 10% UVB bulbs that can go in this. And the deep dome made by Terra with a PowerSun UVB 100 watt that not only emits UVB but also emits heat, as well as the deep dome lamp fixture recommended by ZoomEd to use with the bulb. Now, what I'm building this for is my trio of rare earth Ackies monitors coming to me next week. And I can't tell you how excited I am to do this. I have wanted to get this species again for probably about eight years. With that being said, it's time to get building. So down over here, I have a ZoomEd under tank heater, which is going to be my cooler side, which is maintaining the surface temp around 90 degrees. Female Ackies monitors need a lower substrate temp around 82 degrees, and able to lay their eggs. For them, I am going to be using my Terra Sahara. This is my 36 quart bag size, and I'm also going to be using some Sahara mixed with a little bit of Firma and some spag moss that I got right here that I'm mainly going to be concentrating on the cool side. This soil that you see before you is about 2.5 years old, part of my big compost soil pile that I've been using, which is filled with tons of different isopods, springtails, as well as the BioShot. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to dump in my big bag of Terra Sahara. I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to kind of dump it here. Now, a 36 quart bag goes a long way. Ackies monitors are from the scrublands of Australia, meaning that where they live, it gets really, really, really hot. And there is not many places to go besides from rocks, hardwood trees, and shrubs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the majority of the Sahara that isn't mixed on the hot side. Now the reason I'm doing this is because this is going to be for a trio of juveniles. Of course, when they're older, they're going to have a significantly larger substrate layer that will be about 20 inches, which is what they require when they're adults. Females need to have a soil temperature around 82 degrees and able to even lay their eggs. So I'm essentially creating a small internal moisture spot for them, so that way as they get older, they know it's always there. It also really helps with husbandry because it's going to help with hydration, it's going to help with respiration, and it's going to help with shedding as well, which is extremely important when you're dealing with an animal that is used to having very dry conditions. Trying not to make a mess. Awesome. So you can see the difference coming in from this side. This is a little bit more dense of a sandy loamy mixture when compared to the Sahara. It also has a little bit more of the cypress aspect to it, which helps the only hard part about keeping them in bins, which helps retain humidity slightly better. You can kind of see a little bit of a difference, but it's still pretty close. Now, I am going to have a pretty deep substrate layer on this side. I'm really trying not to make a mess, but that tub made it very challenging. I should have had a scooper. That's okay. So, we now have the nice mixture that I'm going to be using for the cooler side, as well as the humid den with the under tank heater on this side, and their basking spot, which is going to be about 125 degrees on that side. So, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my biodegradables. This is my AAA New Zealand sphagnum moss, and I'm going to use this entire bag. I'm gonna get this bag so that way it's wet, but not dripping. Now, it is okay to have moisture pockets in the soil. Remember that the Firma mixtures and the Sahara mixtures are not really designed to constantly be raising your humidity. It helps maintain it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take spag moss that's in this bag. So, pretty solid clump. So, I want a little bit more. I know it looks like a lot for a desert setup, but since the soil aerates from the top to the bottom, you're not going to have to worry about this constantly being super saturated, but it is going to raise the humidity underneath the initial layer of the substrate really well, which the girls are really going to like you for, and the guys are going to like you for, because it's going to allow them to rehydrate and all that other good stuff, and even potentially lay eggs. So, I want to make sure this is mixed in really well. And what I'm really excited for about this species is that they are burrowers and tunnelers. So with the Sahara and the Firma somewhat mixed together, that they're gonna have a network in here, and it's gonna be exciting to see. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in a little bit of leaf litter. This is my maple. Right. Now what this is gonna do is provide food for the bugs, if you choose to use them, as well as nutrition for your soil. Because what's going to happen is they're going to slowly break down and essentially become a new part of the soil. And when that happens, there's a whole new bunch of nutrients being put in, which not only benefits your plants, but it will also benefit your soil. So you can see I'm really mixing it in deep here. And then on the other side, towards the end where I know that they're really going to burrow, is where I'm going to actually leave them on the top so they can peek their heads out and try to blend in a little bit with the leaves. Because that is one niche that the Ackies do use for hunting, is they have a tendency to try to blend their little fat bodies in wherever they are, and then they just peek their heads out and grab whatever it is that they want. So, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cork bark, and I'm going to create, I'm going to start their dens for them, essentially. I want to give these guys as many options as possible. So, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put that right like this, so that it can go under here. And then I'm going to take this piece, put this like this. Okay, I'm going to take this, put that right here, cover that up, so you guys can see over here how deep my hand can go in. These animals love a sense of security like most reptiles, which is why it's important to mimic their home as much as possible. Now, in the wild, it's not going to be cork bark, it's going to be rocks. They're going to be stacked on top. But I really do not want a vivarium that weighs over 1,000 pounds. I'm good. Then I'm going to add some different seed pods. Now I have ram's head seed pods and magnolia. I'm going to bury them in partially to the soil. They're going to break down and again provide nutrition to your soil and your plants if you choose to use plants. But the activity level that the Ackies have, as well as their destructive nature to search out everything, I'm going to be very limited to what plants that I'm going to use, so I'm really excited to show you. What I am going to add, and I'm really excited to see how the existing bug populations do, and the isopods that I'm about to dump in here. So, if you can take here a look into the cup, I have some powder blues, I have some giant oranges, and I have some dwarf purple isopods. So I'm going to dump them in. So what I'm really interested to see is if the Ackies hunt down every single one, because that is the type of animal that they are. They just hunt and destroy. That's why I'm so excited to have them. So now my second, so this is my favorite part, I guess, ghost wood. So I got this piece, I got this piece. So I'm going to try to replicate more of like a tree. A tree that is falling down, but still gives them the ability to climb to the top. And I want that to be at the back. And again, I do apologize about that noise, and it was the worst. So I'm going to take this piece. I like that. See the nice side of it. Actually, you know what? I can deal with that. I like that a lot. Now, like I said, what I'm trying to replicate is, that is just a bunch of downed trees that they are just kind of overtaking. So, I think. Gotta see. Grant, if you want to get a closer look at this. After a little bit of insight, I decided that piece wasn't for me. Done. Right there. And then I like that. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty good. That's going to give them a lot of places to climb and hide. So back here, it's a little open. So I think what I'm going to do is actually kind of put it more along the lines of like this. That I can deal with. I think that looks good. Now for plants. I'm really doing these with the expectation that they get destroyed. But I'm also picking ones that most likely won't get destroyed, as well as ones that in the wild, the type of plants that they would really come in contact with if they did. So the first one that I'm looking at, this is called a mimic cactus. You can roll it, hit it against your hand, you're good. These thrive on almost no water. A lot of animals in the wild will get actually in between mimic cactuses and real cactuses and use them as a defense mechanism. So a lot of people freak out, you know, when they see, you know, stuff like this, and I'm telling you, they do just fine. And I'm actually going to put this cactus right here, right in front of the area that they are going to be nesting in. I have an earth star, which I'm also going to put right here. I'm really putting these plants in here because I really want to see how they do. I don't have the expectation of them really surviving, with exception really of this one. I would like to think this one would survive, but if they trample it or lay their fat bodies on it, then that could be a different story. And then I have this aloe right here. This is one of the sturdiest aloes that I carry, and I expect this one to do just fine. And where I'm going to put this one is, oh guys, I'm so sorry. So sorry for that sound. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, right down there. I like that. And then I have a water dish that I'm actually going to keep on the hot side. The reason I do that is because they have easy access when they do decide to bask. And since it gets lowered a little bit faster, it's a really good way to make sure your reptiles always have fresh water, because you have to end up giving them water every day. Which in my opinion, that's what you should be doing anyway, especially if you want to make sure that you know that they're doing okay with their habitat. Since I am going to be feeding them, you know, a bunch of worms and other things like that, I will most likely put a small feeding dish in here, or let some roam. I'm going to be putting in some mealworms and some super worms to help filter to help create air pockets into the bioactive substrate, which is going to make a big difference, as well as give your Ackies monitors the ability to actively hunt while just going through the soil, living throughout their entire lives. And that's what it's all about, enrichment. Monitors are extremely intelligent animals when it comes to being able to survive, when it comes to being able to adapt to their environment, which I guess is pretty much the same thing. But just them as animals, you know, they've had so many years of evolution. It's really cool that you can, you know, put them in something like this and really see their unique instinctual niches come to life. So let's get this closed up here. Almost there. Put the lock on. We step back and take a look. Honestly, I like it. It's really not, it has that open space in the back left, but it's not bad. I can dig it, because they're going to be just all over the place. So, you know, guys, my name's Josh, also owner and founder of the BioDude. Definitely check out my website, biodude.com. Subscribe to me on YouTube, and of course, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. The Dude abides.